Hello everyone and welcome back to another video with CryptoNinjas. My name is Dale, your guide through this vast crypto universe. Bitcoin is now to below $90,000 and it seems like it's approaching $80,000 even. There are fear everywhere on X, on YouTube, social medias. Your timeline is flooded with posts from analysts saying that Bitcoin is now below the dead cross and that we're having that staircase of hell going down to as low as $60,000 to $70,000. The Bitcoin cycle has ended, right? That's what they said. And 2026, obviously, is going to be a Bitcoin winter. Look. Maybe those things are true, but there are also some posts by Bitcoin bulls saying that this is the last time that you are seeing Bitcoin below $90,000, so start accumulating. And today, actually, by the time making this video, Bitcoin has recovered to about $93,000. So yeah, it's a good sign that maybe this is just a fake out. But I am not here to give you another analysis about Bitcoin, predicting whether Bitcoin is going down or going up. What I am doing here today is stopping you from clicking that sell button and actually moving your mouse just a little bit to the left. I'm going to give you one good reason why I think Bitcoin is the best assets right now and why you should own Bitcoin instead of selling it. After that, I'm going to give you one indicator that I use to DCA into Bitcoin, and it has proven track of very good records. There is one good reason why I think you should own Bitcoin today, and you should get as many of it as you can. Look at the millionaires. Look at the billionaires even. They are going up on legacy media. They are going up on social media, shilling Bitcoin, saying that they're accumulating more and more Bitcoins. And you can clearly see the proof from MicroStrategy, from different governments, from President Trump. The billionaire Ron Barron, he recently went up to CNBC about 3 days ago, and he started sharing that he is starting accumulating Bitcoin to fight against inflation.
What has to happen is the value of your money falls 4 or 5% a year. That's inflation. Falls 4 or 5% a year, and the economic growth has been about 2% a year. So it's about 7% a year growth, and that means everything doubles in 10 years. The value of your money falls in half every 15 years.
The fact of the matter is inflation is about 3 to 5 to 7% per year, okay? If they are just sitting on their pile of cash, then they're actually losing about, 7% of their purchasing power. Let's say if you have $1 billion after a year, you lose 7% of your purchasing power. And after every 15 years, you are losing 50% of your purchasing power, which is insanity, okay? So that money has to go somewhere, has to be invested, not saved, right? And this is not really only happening in America, it's actually happening all over the world, and it's even worse in other countries, right? Especially developing countries. I'm living in a developing countries, and let me tell you, inflation is crazy. Prices on my daily necessities went up exponentially, not just 5-7%. No, it's 20% even on some of the products that I consume every day. Okay, like food, for example. Okay, clothing, it also went up. Everything is going up. Inflation is happening for real, and it is crazy. Okay, now Bitcoin, he also stated, has been amazing. Okay, that means if you look at the Bitcoin price, it has been, honestly, as a fact, the best performing assets in the past years. Okay, going up even higher than gold, higher than even real estate. Obviously, that Ron Barron and multiple other billionaires, they want to own some. Okay, and as more and more billionaires are buying, the more governments are buying, more institutions are buying, others will have to follow suit. They don't want to miss out on this amazing product. And you might have another question, right? Why are these billionaires, they're not buying like real estate or gold or, stocks and bonds, treasuries, US treasuries, whatever it is, because they already have, all right? They already own a lot of these assets already. But there's one asset that you don't have, but other billionaires have, that is Bitcoin. It is emerging, it is hot, it is new, it is being adopted widely, it resonates with the next generation of youth, and obviously they will want to buy a little bit of that. Not a lot, maybe, but just a little bit of their assets, which could be worth hundreds of millions of dollars or billions of dollars. Maybe they're not accumulating it publicly, right? Saying that, oh, I'm just buying Bitcoin, I just bought Bitcoin. No, but they are doing it privately in their wallet. But what I'm trying to say is billionaires, okay, people with knowledge, people with power, people with money, they are accumulating Bitcoin. And they're doing it for the long term. Okay. Ignore the noise. I don't care whatever, other people said on X, like, hey, they're gonna start selling when Bitcoin goes down to like $50,000. No, I don't think that's gonna happen because Bitcoin has become such a strong asset that when Bitcoin approaches like $60,000, $50,000 or even lower, $20,000, there are gonna be other people, other billionaires accumulating and sweeping the floor and buying a lot of it. What that means for you and for me as individual investors, we should be doing the same thing, just like these billionaires are doing. We should stop thinking about maximizing our entry, okay? If you believe in Bitcoin and if you know that it's gonna go up to like, let's say $200,000, $300,000, five, or even $1,000,000, right? Does it really make that big of a difference if we're buying it at $90,000 or $70,000? To be honest with you, nobody knows what is the best entry to get in. We can speculate the range, right? But there's no best entry for anybody. We buy at the price that we deserve. With that said, I'm not telling you to go all in into Bitcoin and to sell your house and your cars to get into Bitcoin. No, you should do exactly what these other billionaires are doing, okay? DCA, obviously. Yeah, obviously you don't have billions of dollars, but if you have, let's say, $5,000 in saved up money, what you should do is to spend about maximum 20% of that money. So that's about $1,000 to buy into Bitcoin. The remaining, you have to leave it out and, as an emergency fund, for example, or you can buy other assets like gold or invest in other stuffs. Okay, diversification is the key here. Okay, I'm going to show you the only technical indicator that I use to DCA into Bitcoin price every time that it dips, okay, in a carefree way. I don't even look at Bitcoin price. I don't care about it, okay? No, obviously I care about the general market, but I don't really care about Bitcoin price because as far as I'm concerned, if it's down, if it reaches my, indicator range, I'm buying. So the only indicator that I'm going to show you today is the RSI 14 in the 1 day or 1 week chart. Only in these two range, okay? 1 day or 1 week. What I'm using it for is I'm looking at the RSI 14 levels in a 1 day chart. And whenever it approaches 30 and below, I'm buying, okay? Why 30 and below? Because when it approaches 30 and below, that means this Bitcoin asset or any asset, it's being oversold, okay? This RSI 14 levels, it doesn't go down below 30 often, okay? Maximum about 3 to 4 times per year. So in theory, whenever it goes down 30 and below, you are buying. Okay, you DCA one time. So that means in 1 year, you only need to DCA 3 to 4 times maximum. You don't have to look at the price. You don't care about the chart. You don't care about anything. Whenever it goes down below 30, right, you buy. Okay, that's it. It's extremely simple. It cannot get any more simpler than that. So let's look at 2022. This is the start of 2022. As you can see, there is one time right here that it goes down 30. This price right here. Okay, boom. Now it's at $34,000. $34,000. And then we have another few occasions where it goes down below 30. So that's another one. And that's another one. So that's 3 times already. And we might have another one here, which is the 4th time in 2022. So keep in mind, 2022 was a terrible year, right? Banking collapse, protocols collapse, FTX, everything happened, Black Swan event, right? So we have 4 occasions where Bitcoin went down below 30. And look at the price, $30,000, right? 18 and $17,000. So right off the bat, you notice that, hey, daily, even though it went down, 30 and below, the price is not really the best, right? Look at that. If we were to buy here, why don't we just wait until it goes down? Because the thing is, we don't know at which price is the best. As I said before, we don't know what is the best price to get in. But what this indicator tells you is every time that it goes down, it's a good price to DCA. That's all it is. It's a good price to DCA. It's not going to tell you best price, but it's going to tell you the good price to DCA. And if you do it, consistently, look at that. Then let's say that you DCA at the same amount of volume, then your price would have been, average price would have been around here in 2022. Okay, your price would have been around here-ish. Okay, $28,000. And look where that gets us in 2023, right? Boom. In the next 1 year, you already profit. And boom, boom, look at that. Zoom out, boom. Right? In 2023, however, you have a couple more times to DCA. So this is not really below 30. It does not count, right? But this one, boom, it counts. Look at that. One time here, 2023, and that's it. That's it. You will have like one time where it goes down to below 30. You can probably count this if you want to, right? It's actually a little bit below, so you can count it. Right? So 2 times in 2023 that you can purchase Bitcoin. Okay? And look where that got us, right? Boom, boom. The price goes up. And then look at that. In 2024, right? Look at that. Boom, another one. So that's one. That's probably one, maybe. Yeah, it goes down a little bit. And that is another one. So that's 3 times in 2024 that we purchased. If you would have purchased in 2024 at these ranges, your average price would have been here, right? About $56,000. And look what happens with Bitcoin in 2025, right? It goes up exponentially. And now, look, if you would have to do the same thing in 2025, right? You have one time in March, right? This one right here, one time in March, and that's it in 2025. And look where the price of Bitcoin is, okay? It went up 54% to $125,000, okay? Now, what I'm telling you is Bitcoin is approaching that range again, okay? Below 30. So this is where you should be buying, or you should wait. Look at that, right? It went below 30 at 28 yesterday. So you should be buying here. Now, I don't know if this is the bottom or not. It might happen the same way in 2022, where look at that. It went right here, it recovers, but it keeps happening. It keeps going lower, but I don't care. This is a good price to DCA. If it goes up, I would be happy. But I'm not going to sell because I know that if it goes down, I'm going to keep on buying and Bitcoin can go to $200,000. I'm not selling. This is how I DCA my Bitcoin if I were to keep it for a long term. And it's just that simple. Okay. There's no other indicators that I use. Another one you can look at is the 1 week RSI 14 in the 1 week, right? And because 1 week is a larger time frame, you can do things a little bit differently, okay? So look at the RSI since 2022, okay? Look at that. The RSI in 2022, actually, in a 1 week chart, it went below 30 at this price right here, right? This is the only time that it goes below 30. In the last 4 years, this is the first time, okay? So if you want to do the same thing, you could wait, right? You could wait until it goes down to below 30 in 2025 in a 1 week chart, and you can ape heavily with large volume because it's normally a better price. So that's what I'm doing, okay? Let's say if you have $10,000 in saved up money, in investment money, you should take like $2,000 out, okay? $8,000, should save it, whatever it is. You should take $2,000 out and you should split it into 3 or 4 times a buy. So that's $500 each, okay? And every time in a year where Bitcoin is down to 30 and below in 1 day RSI, you should buy $500 of it, okay? So this time, $500. This time in 2025, $500. And I'm guarantee you should be buying at a very good price before a pump up, okay? If it goes down further, don't care about the price, okay? Buy another $500. That's it. Next year, take another $2,000 out and do the same thing until Bitcoin eventually goes up to $200,000. To be fair, if it's going up to $200,000, you could be buying anywhere in this chart and you would still be benefiting. But what I'm trying to show you is you need something to tell you to buy. You cannot just buy blindly, right? And this is a good indicator for me to use to buy. And that's it, okay? That is this video about Bitcoin and my way of purchasing Bitcoin and why I am buying Bitcoin for the long term and why I don't care about the general crypto market and the Bitcoin price. Ignore the news, okay? If you're here for the long term, if you're buying Bitcoin because you believe in this thing, if you're buying Bitcoin because you're looking to make money, obviously to retire, then you should treat it as a retirement fund. Buy it, save it, ignore it. Governments, institutions are buying Bitcoin like crazy. Why don't you? So just think about it for a second and like and subscribe to CryptoNinjas if you found this video helpful and if I actually stop you from selling Bitcoin. Okay, thank you very much for watching and I'll see you in another video. Daily out.